So some actionable steps that you can be taking to ensure that your organization is aligned with some of the changing data privacy regulations. There's a number of things. First of all, what data do you have? So most companies are really bad at understanding what data are we collecting, who does it come from, what are the rights and permissions and privacy policies that attach to it when we collect it. Where is that stored within our network? Who has access to it? And who are we sharing it with outside of the organization? So getting a handle around that process, creating a data map or doing a data audit is really the first step of getting all the data out on the table and saying, here's what we have, now what laws apply to it and how do we manage it? From there, I would say the biggest risk is really with vendor and partner management of that data. So anytime you're sharing information that's protected or sensitive or regulated outside of the organization, you need to have in place a written agreement with that company or with that partner that really provides some restrictions on them with respect to how they're able to use and share that information. It's critically important to control vendors and partners' access to that data. A lot of the data breaches that we see aren't from the company itself, but from one of the vendors that gets hacked, which provides access to them. So I'd say those are a couple pieces that will really move the needle for most organizations.
I would say the state's doing a lot of good things to attract businesses. Among them, there's a very friendly tax and regulatory climate, and that is what you'll hear most of the time from state stakeholders. I would add, they're really leveraging what the state has in terms of its legacy in business. So that involves things like manufacturing, but here in central Indiana, it also involves life sciences. In terms of what they're not doing well is, I think, still leaning too much on the tax and regulatory story. It's like, okay, what else can you do? And that's where it comes into attracting employees, making Indiana a great place to live and work. I happen to think it is a great place to live and work. In fact, I'm originally from the East Coast and chose to live here. So there's proof of that.
I think the most important thing to creating a magnetic culture where the best and brightest want to be is leaders need to understand their role as culture carriers. That in fact, the leaders of your organization, in addition to the tasks and the work that they do and produce, the most important work, arguably, that leaders do is inspire people to do their best and connect with people, build trust and shared purpose. Activating the core values is a really important thing for leaders to do as culture carriers. So a lot of organizations, have the values hanging on the wall, but we find in our work that oftentimes people don't know what those really mean. So leaders who can take a core value like teamwork and really break that down into the behaviors and mindsets that roll up into that core value, when you get to that level of clarity, then you can coach those behaviors. You could train to those behaviors. You can have those behaviors be part of your performance management. You can even career path for people who are able to display and really live out the intentional culture that you aspire to have.